well done to St Helens today and all the other clubs over this magic weekend. The Huddersfield Giants looking relaxed, aren't they, Huddersfield? They've been playing well. In fact, when you think about it, have we ever had two better teams? I know the results have gone appallingly for both Huddersfield and Leeds at the bottom of the table, but have we ever had two better teams sitting in places 11 and 12 in the first Utility Super League table at this stage of the season before? Match referee, one of the best in the business, is Ben Thaler, and so it's about time, I think, that we joined our commentary team. We've got Brian Carney alongside Phil Clark, with Terry O'Connor and Bill Arthur.
Just spare a thought for the kit man, or the kit men who have to do these new shirts. I was talking to the Salford kit man yesterday, and he said, yes, it's a wonderful cause. I was thinking that when I was doing my 38th shirt on Thursday. It is a wonderful cause that the Saints are wearing, the Saints in their autism and awareness shirts, receiving the ball from the kickoff against the Giants. And even though Huddersfield are second from bottom in the table, you sense that this is a massive game in this magic weekend scenario. Certainly will be a massive game if the Huddersfield Giants can pull off a win, and it's a strong looking Giants side. It's incredible to believe they are where they are on the table. They've got Scott Griggs back today for his first game since round one against St Helens, and Jamie Ellis just getting his way back into the side. So Saints in possession are up against a determined Giants side, but Saints beat them in that round one game pretty comfortably, 30 points to 16. And Saints themselves, after their cup exit, are looking as though they mean business in Super League.
Well, the biggest difference in that round one game was the accuracy and the effectiveness of the kicks that St Helens made. Far better than the ones from Huddersfield in that match. Danny Brough did go off injured actually at half-time. But if you see what Luke Walsh and his teammates do, they caused more trouble. They were difficult all the time that Huddersfield had collect the ball. I mean, awkward and troublesome spots, and that'll be a challenge for Huddersfield to match, if not outplay their opponents when it comes to attacking kicks.
Saw Giants coach Paul Anderson, himself a former Saints player, as was he. Kieran Cunningham, just ever so slightly. Earl Crabtree, he's back after a big weekend last weekend at the birth of his son, Elias. Congratulations to him and his partner Marie for Elias's arrival. He was a big lad apparently, like Dad. The kick is a good one, and Swift will return it for St Helens.
They'll have been looking forward to this game. Both teams completing the first set of 6. You look at the last 5 games, both of them have won 3 from the last 5. Also, you look at Saints' defensive record. Even in those results, they're still conceding an average of 30 points. So they need to make sure that they compete against their Huddersfield side that I really do believe has turned a corner.
Here is John Wilkin in the middle of the field, just into the Giants half. Huddersfield going down to Catalan just by 2 points last weekend in Perpignan, and Catalan obviously vulnerable at the moment, having just lost here to Wakefield by that Jacob Miller drop goal. There's Walsh himself, no mean exponent of the drop goal art. Griggs is underneath it. Good to see the Irish international back for the first time since February.
It's a great start, isn't it, to come back? Confident catch, under pressure. He's had some contact now around him. I'm sure that'll help him settle in now to this game. Gets up off the ground and just about beat Jack Owens to it.
There is Griggs, and he sports a very promising moustache. He's spending a lot of time on his moustache. I don't know if you're familiar with Carlos Alduendo, the Toulouse and French Rugby League official, but it has that sort of potential. He's even waxing it. Here are the Giants, with Leroy Cudjoe, has been in great form this season, ever present in the side since last June, Cudjoe. And then Brough gets a dribbling, bobbling kick away.
Well, the favour attacking to that right side, Danny Brough, normally the man who positions himself out there, but also alongside Jermaine McGilvray, such a powerful winger. Give him early ball, he looks to create his own space, whether he runs over the player or runs into a gap.
Danny Brough, his touchline conversion on this ground last season, snatched a point for the Huddersfield Giants against the Catalan Dragons.
Well, he and his team, they like a 40-20 kick as well. This pitch isn't 100 metres long, so it's an ideal situation. Hard, firm, fast pitch. Expect them maybe to look to try and exploit that rule and attack from the back of it.
Dawson in possession for St Helens. There's Chris Thorman on the sidelines for Huddersfield Giants. He more than most will be very, very excited to be on this pitch as a Newcastle United supporter from boyhood. Not a very exciting season for Newcastle United supporters, of course, with relegation, but it's always a big buzz, possibly even a big bus, when Newcastle United supporters get out onto the pitch. Here is Telavea charging onto that ball right up the middle of the field, and Saints edging their way towards the danger zone. Teafage, Wilkin slips infield, and they get closer still. This is the last, and Luke Walsh puts the kick in, ricochets, and Grix, like a good slip fielder, collects the ball.
Well, that's great defence, isn't it, from Luke Walsh? A couple of players coming back into centre field. I tell you, they're hitting a real good line, landing on his front, playing the ball quick, then all of a sudden Saints are attacking, which enables Luke Walsh to kick this ball. He doesn't sit back and admire it, hits underneath Scott Grix and forces him over the try line.
Well, the Saints lead the way this year for tries scored from kicks. A third of the tries they've scored have had a kick involved in it. Luke Walsh very often the man to put his foot to the ball, and this gives him a great position. They love to get close to opponent's line and then find a way over it. I think it's been fast, and there's been some good finesse from the Saints so far.
Very methodical from Saints. And here's Kyle Amor now. Saints enjoying a good stream of possession in the opening 5 minutes. Roby keeping it simple. And Huddersfield backtracking again, already back on their own 10-metre line. And Saints going on the short side. Roby. There's a quick scan to see what's on, and then Walsh. Walsh finds Amor. Hinchcliffe wrestling with him, so's Akumatai, and Roby sensing that something might be on here. And it is on. And Lamatasi is just short for a moment. It looks as though he was going to be able to stretch out there, but the gap shut on him. Now the gap could be, and Swift couldn't take the pass. It was fired at him. There was a tempting opportunity there, but the pass was really bulleted towards his knees.
Yeah, well, you feel that the space was there. Jermaine McGilvray, well, he'd come in and trying to close the player down, which creates the space on the edge. If that goes to hand, if it's a decent pass, it's a certain try. But Luke Walsh is having a big influence on this game.
Shannon McDonald's pass just behind maybe, or had Swift overshot?
I think maybe the pass wasn't good enough, was it? The thing we learnt from watching the games yesterday was that you need to do two things to win: miss less tackles than your opponents and convert your chances. And I think that's the reason why Kieran Cunningham was so frustrated. He knows against a good team, chances like that need to be turned into points.
Cudjoe. Tackled by Swift. Hinchcliffe. Then they come back in field. Huddersfield Giants. A bit more confidence in their ranks in recent weeks. Brough picks that ball up and manages to turn it into something. Murphy, as one or two others have done on this field, just loses his footing. And then Grix on the last puts the kick in, and Shannon McDonald is there to gather the ball. No Johnny Lomax for Saints in this game. He was 50-50 in the build-up, and they decided not to risk him. It's a blow because he's certainly returning great form, Lomax, but not able to take his place in this game.
Yeah, he is. He's a good player. As this man, Adam Swift, just 22 years of age, yet he's made 78 appearances for Saints. Good kick here from Walsh.
Walsh has gone for a 40-20. Oh, and it just kicked back in field. If it had kept going, then it was on, but Grix relieved to see it come back into play.
It's not a 40-20, but look where they're trapped here. If they can deal with Jermaine McGilvray, turn him on the back, which they nearly do, that's mission accomplished.
Great start to the game for me, Bill. Good fast 8 minutes. Game's gone from end to end.
Murphy plays the ball. Hinchcliffe, off he goes. But Fage goes in to make the tackle. Dawson there as well. Ellis Going across the field, then Nathan Mason is tackled, and here is Brough. Brough drills a kick in, and that will go dead. Too much on that one.
Yeah, just too much weight on that kick from Danny Brough. He was hoping that it was going to stay in the field of play and turn Saints around like Saints had turned Huddersfield around. Just trap him in the corner.
0-0 here between St Helens, now 5th place in the table. The results so far this Magic weekend: Huddersfield 11th. Huddersfield hoping for a late flurry of points that's going to help them make the top 8. Going to have to really string some results together before the break. And Saints, well, if they were to win this, and just supposing Hull Kingston Rovers beat Hull in the final game of this Magic weekend, we would have 5 sides on 20 points at the top of the table. As Roby puts the kick in, that was a bit impromptu.
Well, he invariably takes that invitation, does he? Fast play the ball, he'll head forward and see what happens next.
Terry, you mentioned this before. This is the job the St Helens have to do defensively now. Not just Jermaine McGilvery, he's probably the best of the back 3 from Huddersfield at running the ball, but Scott Griggs, Aaron Murphy will come off his wing as he does now to take a carry. And if those two aren't involved, you can expect Jake Connor and Leroy Cudjoe to get in as well. So when you kick the ball, and if Griggs catches it, it's your next 2 and 3 tackles after that are going to be also important for St Helens in this game.
Crabtree plays the ball on the halfway line, and Ellis on they go to Cudjoe. They're looking to find McGilvray on that Giants right hand side. Wardle is Lawrence now. Hinchcliffe, Ellis, and Brough puts a little kick in. Shannon McDonald comes across and ducks and weaves, and eventually is tackled by Akumatai, and Akumatai again there make the tackle, and Brough on Calvin Wellington.
Well, they've sort of been on the back foot, or not had as good a grip as their opponents in the first 10 minutes, but that first kick there now to trap the Saints near their own line gives them a chance here now with 3 good tackles gone. That's 4 of the set. This is the first time they've really had any joy territorially, although John Wilkin comes up with a nice run to gain his ground.
That's a sign when you know that Saints are under pressure, when John Wilkin comes in and takes a carry like that from the ruck.
It's another good kick. There have been some great kicks early on in this game from both sides. There's also been some good full-back play, and there's more from Griggs.
Some athletic players that we've seen. Look at this, he's out of the field of play, comes back into the field of play. So he realises the job that he's got to do.
Griggs salvaging that. It's a good kick, and that's great work. Gets the ball away to Jake Connor. Connor carries it on to Hinchcliffe, and now Ellis. Ellis has got support out wide with Cudjoe. Cudjoe's got great feet, back on the inside, but over the head of Ryan Hinchcliffe, and Saints could counter here. It's with Dawson.
Well, great play from firstly Jermaine McGilvery to break through the line and offload to one of his teammates. But the thing that stands out to me though is James Roby again is the man when the pass doesn't find his teammate and lands on the ground. Who drops on it? The hooker for St Helens. What an engine he has.
Kyle Amor. But Huddersfield threatening, the first real threat from either side. But now here's Shannon McDonald. Dawson cuts back infield.
He needed some support then, Theo Fies. He was looking for somebody outside him.
Wilkin. Here's Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Puff of the cheeks, and then he goes to ground. About 20 metres out. Walsh hoists that kick. Aaron Murphy underneath this one. The ball bounces down. Atilia Vea is after it. Everybody's after it. And eventually, a boot stuck out. Now then, referee and touch judge.
There's a lot, isn't there, for touch judge to identify in a split second. Challenge in the air, knock on, who's onside, offside.
It's a penalty there, Stuart?
I don't think so. I think it's a fair challenge. I think it's just a knock on in the end. They've got the decision right. Huddersfield got the ball.
They're relieved at that. That kick causing a few flutters in Huddersfield hearts. and that's caused a flutter in Huddersfield Hearts as well as a fumble, hands possession back to Saints.
And they're under no real pressure. So just coming up with an unforced error, just numbers in front of them. They should have taken that ball then.
And there's another one from Atelier Vea. And Huddersfield have it back. Bizarre because both sides have been very, very tidy early on. First 12 minutes or so, and then back-to-back knock-ons.
They'll keep inviting each other into the game, don't they? We saw that over the weekend, Bill. Mistakes, penalties, giving that field position away. Good shot.
3 there for Saints defensively. And here is Crabtree. Crabtree and Amor get into grips with each other. Now here's Brough. Brough taking it right to the line and finding it. Akumatai. 4 tackles gone. The ball with Brough. Brough hoists that one.
Good luck catching it.
And he does very well indeed, Adam Swift. There was a Giants player taken out off the ball there. And in fact, the touch judge is on. And quick words. And Ben Thaler awards the penalty.
Is it Matt Dawson who impedes one of his teammates? He says yes. He stopped Jermaine McGilvey from coming in to contest the ball.
And he had that covered as well, didn't he? Adam Swift.
You make a good point there. You said good luck catching it. Zach Hardacre, just after a Leeds Huddersfield game this year, he spoke about Danny Brough, the opposition players needing to put pressure on Danny Brough when he's kicking. Don't let him play in a dinner suit, because he's got one of the best kicking games in the competition, Bill. Pressure on Brough when he's kicking is paramount.
Nearly 15 minutes gone, and that's the first penalty of this game. Here's Hinchcliffe for the Giants, looking for the first points of the game. Wardle, Ellis. Big dummy, Brough onto Akumatai. Steps away from Walsh, but Walsh manages to cling on down low. There's support up top. Griggs. Oh, and then a fumble from Brough. Crabtree tries to retrieve it. Brough furious with himself.
Well, probably furious with the pass as well. He was in perfect position. You've seen him probing, talking to his players, putting him in the holes that they want him. Earl Crabtree and Nathan Mason lining up under the sticks to pick out a couple of plays. Jermaine McGilvey, his offload and power, bringing the ball away. I think that's the threat, that's the danger that Saints need to deal with. And then a big, powerful side, Hinchcliffe, Ellis, looking to give the ball to a teammate who's in a better position, could go over the top.
I think what Huddersfield have got going for them here, 15 minutes of this match, is a really nice balance, Brian. I think Danny Brough's playing on one side of the field, Jamie Ellis on the other. They do seem to be split and be able to balance. The balance of the attack seems and feels about right to me.
There's Calvin Wellington for the Saints, just 20 years of age, former Aberavon Rugby Union lad. Another one to come through the ranks at Saints, getting his chance in this game. Kyle Amor. All he needs is a cutlass and an eye patch.
Hasn't he developed into a great player? I remember him 2009 when he played at Whitehaven. Footwork at the line, the bravery from the Cumbrian forward, always lands on his front, leads his team forward.
And another penalty. And that's enabled Saints to eat up a bit more territory. Now Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Roby, Fage, here is Amor once more. The Giants reception committee there to meet him. They're only about 15 metres out now. Roby. Walsh, short ball onto Louis McCarthy. Scarsbrook can't quite stretch out. It was good defence by Griggs in the end to put himself in the way. Here's Fage trying to dummy his way through. Huddersfield right on their own try line now, under pressure. Roby, Walsh, and this time they'll go out wide, and Dawson trying to burrow his way through. Shannon McDonnell now, and Walsh kicks across the field. High kick, Murphy is underneath it. I think that was a header in the end from somebody. And they'll go back to the 20 to restart.
Yeah, it comes off a Saints player, but Luke Walsh, every time he goes and tries to fix the defenders, Danny Brough takes a quick tap here.
Oh, McGilvray has burst through. Jermaine McGilvray is through one.
Need to be better on the quick plays.
Murphy, quick play the ball.
Ellis
he slithers just at the crucial point. And Jack Owens is able to make the tackle, and Saints have been able to regroup. Sam Rapira is on for the Giants, immediately into the action, about 12 metres out. Hinchcliffe, Ellis now. Ellis, short ball, but it's good defence from the Saints this time to deny Joe Wardle. Crabtree trying to get the ball away, but it's come up for Saints, and Theo Farge, the referee, comes back for the original knock-on, because I think Saints knocked on as well.
Well, it's the best end-to-end scoreless game, or 20 minutes of a match almost, that I've ever seen here. But the defence has matched it, hasn't it, with the effort from teams on their own half. Danny Brough with a quick restart, finds Jermaine McGilvray, he's looking for Cudjoe, cuts back in field. You have to compliment again James Roby. Boy, if the sponsors of this event ever invent a new car, they want with the one with the performance, efficiency and energy that James Roby provides. He is phenomenal. You almost forget the fact that he plays in the middle of the field, does so much defending, and yet has the energy to get back and help cover his teammates' mistakes.
Nearly 400 career appearances now for James Roby. He's 30 years of age, still looks very youthful.
He's enormous for the club, isn't he? Can play big minutes. Never seems to tire. He's always picked out defence, always averages around the 50 tackles per game.
Tellier plays the ball for Saints. It's still 0-0 here, almost a quarter of the game gone.
Bill, I was saying when Saints are up near Huddersfield's line, Luke Walsh is getting a lot of attention. He's controlling things, he's going at the line, he's fixing defenders, and as he goes at the line, someone's coming in and putting pressure on him, putting him on the ground.
Walsh, this one goes high in the air. Aaron Murphy positions himself underneath the ball. Very competent, Aaron Murphy. He's had his spell at full-back for this club and for Wakefield, so he knows how to deal with those situations.
He's one of those players that doesn't probably get the plaudits or the big headlines, but the players and his teammates love playing with him.
Well, the Giants have just introduced one of their substitutes. They lost Brett Ferris, which was a major blow for them at the start of the season, but they're hoping that the man who's just come on there and knows the number 36. He's not got the ball here.
You haven't actually said his name yet.
Seb Ikahihifo.
Well
He's
done.
going to make a difference and make an impact as Leroy Cudjoe cuts through again. He's dangerous with the ball.
Oh, great offload from Cudjoe, keeping this ball alive with Ellis. And Ellis for Griggs, and Griggs will take the tackle from his opposite number, Shannon McDonald, the opposite full-back. But Ellis, it is a quick play the ball. They have got the numbers here. Cudjoe on for McGilvray. McGilvray just a dot down from the winger. Try number 12 this Super League season for Jermaine McGilvray in just about the spot he scored against the Catalan Dragons last season. It could have been a lot worse for Saints. They can take that as some sort of consolation because it's way out wide. But hang on, Brough converted from there last season as well. It's not such good news.
Well, this is how you wait an offload, isn't it? And Huddersfield, well, they've been flooding forward in the opening 20 minutes. But look at this. He only passes the ball when he can get free and give it to someone in a better position. Wardle does exactly the same, giving the ball to Ellis. And they go from one side of the pitch to the other. And Scott Griggs, he's not dominated in defence. And then where they broke Saints on the left-hand side, they brought the ball back because Saints couldn't reset. They were all trying to get centre field to stop Griggs from scoring the try. They've run out of numbers. Great finish, great build-up. And that man loves it, Paul Anderson.
The coach on his feet to salute. Another try from Jermaine McGilvray, just turned 28, the winger, making his 64th consecutive appearance for the Giants. That's a heck of a run, which goes back to May 2014 against Wigan. And Brough, it's deja vu all over again, Rodney, as he goals that one from the sidelines to give Huddersfield a 6-0 lead.
Well, seems to be in the opening quarter, two different approaches from these teams. One who are prepared to attack from anywhere on the field, ball in their own half, they'll throw some passes and support the man. And St Helens, they're more prepared with a conservative and patient approach. They want to work down the middle of the field, get close to the opponent's line and hope to score. At the moment, it's the Giants who look the more dangerous, although they lead by only 6 points.
It's 10 tries in his last 13 appearances for Jermaine McGilvray, and despite the Giants' problems this season, the wrong end of the table, he is still posting the points for them. Great finisher.
He's all round, isn't he? Jermaine McGilvray, whether scoring tries or helping his team get forward.
Great offload again, wasn't it? Sam Rapira. The confidence for a team next to bottom of the table is absolutely amazing.
Well, they lost in Perpignan last weekend, but they'd won 3 of 4 in the league and cup competitions going into that game, so the confidence was coming back for Huddersfield, players coming back, and it's certainly a very strong looking side, and they could yet make something of this Super League season. Made the semi-finals last year. That's a good kick, and well claimed by Shannon McDonnell.
Yeah, it was well dealt with, wasn't it? Shannon McDonnell and Adam Swift nearly collided as they both link up here now. Good take. Adam Swift just pulled out at the last second.
He's got some good magic memories of Shannon McDonnell, including being a member of the Hull Kingston Rovers side against Hull in 2012, and that's a dramatic finale, Rovers winning. What will happen this time? We'll find out 5:30 Sky Sports 1, when Hull FC, who could end the magic weekend at the top of the table. Hang on a minute, Swift's chasing that. McGilvray is coming back to diffuse the danger. The whole team in the stands waiting their turn on this pitch. Yes, Hull could end the weekend top of the Super League table. That would be some sight.
Well, it has been the most unpredictable season, but at the moment it's the Hull side who need, the St Helens side on the field who need the boost. They're not going to get it. They're going to bring on their big gun soon, Alex Walmsley, and see whether he can make an impact. Blast some holes through Huddersfield's defence as the kick goes deep now from Danny Brough.
And it's claimed by Jack Owens. Now McDonnell. Owens had to start off at full back in his Saints career, and wasn't the happiest of starts. Kieran Cunningham's side trailing 6-0. He's been on the wing for the last 10, the former Widnes man.
Both of these sides are kicking early in the sets, kicking on the third, kicking on the fourth as Alex Walmsley comes in to lend his weight. Here he goes straight into the thick of it.
Walmsley losing his footing in the centre circle at St James's Park. Walsh, Atelier now. Walsh drills the kick down the line, but can't find touch, and Grix will bring it back for a restart on the 20.
Well, he runs out of space, Luke Walsh, and he's the big indicator in this Saints side of who's going to get the ball on the last play. As the majority of the kicking, if he's tied up at the play of the ball, it might fall down to John Wilkin or Theo Fage. But the big indicator on the final plays.
Grix, tackled by Calvin Wellington. Michael Lawrence now.
And he has been one of Huddersfield's best in a season so far that's disappointed. He really has improved and been a very important contributor to the performances. A lot of unnoticed work from Lawrence, gaining ground, making good tackles.
Well, he hasn't missed a game, in fact, Michael Lawrence, since the match against the Catalan Dragons on this pitch last year. That's 31 games consecutively he's played. The kick is a high, difficult one, but Owens makes light work of that.
Well, the outside backs are doing well for both sides.
Wellington makes a mess of that, and Akumatai picks it up and could have profited. Ben Failer will go to the video ref to decide on this one. Phil Bentham has the job of deciding whether Akumatai has grounded that ball. I think that's possibly the only question. Not sure.
He's looking for a double movement on this one. So, well, he certainly seemed to have momentum going over the line. I don't think there's a problem with how the ball comes loose. It's just a straightforward drop. Picked up and moved forward. And I think his momentum takes him over the line. It does. It's still a try. Momentum takes him over the line, even though he ends up short. He never moves his arm to get it over the line because his body takes it over. That's a try.
Impossible task for Shannon McDonald to stop him, wasn't it?
Horrible moment for the youngster Calvin Wellington and Nakuma Tai. I think Phil Bentham just looking, Stuart, to see whether he's lost control of that.
Does his hand come away and stay away? Well, you can't really see whether he loses it. He can stick it under his arm and trap it to his chest. With the try being given on the field, I would expect this one to be given.
And it is. So Nakuma Tai profits from that mistake to claim his 6th try of the season from very close range, and an unfortunate mistake there hands Huddersfield Giants another 4 points. They lead by 10 points and they'll kick to come.
Well, Jack Owen deals with the bomb in the corner, and then Calvin Wellington, well, makes the mistake. But great players make mistakes. It's how you react after making that mistake. You can't just put your head in your hands. I'm sure the youngster will still come up with some good touches in this game.
Did you hear that, you two?
Danny Brough nearing 2,000 points in Super League, notches another 2 with that conversion.
Well, how do you stop Nakuma Tai when he gets the ball? Learns the mistake. He's big, he's powerful. He's running at a man who's half his size, and Calvin Wellington, just look at the frustration. He's so disappointed with himself.
Well, if he's watched the games this weekend, he'll know that very often the team that have scored the first couple of tries haven't always gone on to win. Warrington started in a similar fashion, and we've seen it in the last game with the Catalan Dragons. Huddersfield have a 12-point lead, but that doesn't mean it's over for the Saints, although they do need to find, I think, some more energy, being outplayed in the last 10 minutes.
There's energy in that run from
John, keep coming back here.
the new boy.
Play on, go.
Ikehihifo. Seban Ikehihifo, former New Zealand warrior who was signed from St George Illawarra on an 18-month deal. Could turn out to be a good bit of work from the Giants, who are coming again, this time with Aaron Murphy. And Murphy has got plenty of people inside in support. One of them is Ellis. Ellis is going for the corner, and Ellis will get there. And it's back-to-back tries for Paul Anderson and the Huddersfield Giants. And this is the team second from bottom in the Super League table. You would not believe that on the evidence of the last few minutes.
Bill, the try has been awarded, but there's a very important and significant run off the ball by Danny Brough. The referee has decided on the field that he's happy with it. There was no obstruction. But a repeat look at it would show that Danny Brough, in escorting a player off the ball, question is, Stuart, whether or not he has caused an obstruction here, as we see them shift the ball right to left. I mean, lovely width on it, and Brough involved, and it was his pass to Griggs that freed Jay Connor. And it's Brough now coming into the top of the shot. It's this run, Stuart, that'll be questioned.
It's when he gets in front of the player, that's when he's causing the obstruction. He's perfectly entitled to support the player, but as soon as he gets in front of him, if he obstructs Roby getting across, that could be classed as obstruction.
But it's good run, isn't it, from Murphy? Look at that, the composure to pull in McDonald, and then Ellis, the awareness, knowing where James Roby is. But good build-up play from Huddersfield, one side of the pitch to the other. He creates some space, and James Roby, well, he just can't get there to prevent that try.
Brough. First miss of the day for Danny Brough, but Huddersfield hitting Saints with a rush of points, and Jamie Ellis, he'll have enjoyed that. Rejected by Saints early in his career, and enjoying putting points on him here.
Well, St Helens do compress the defence, and there's risk and reward associated with that. They put lots of men around the middle of the field, and it invited and teased the Huddersfield Giants to shift it again. They've been the ones prepared to pass the ball wide, deep inside their own half, and they've enjoyed great success from it there with that wonderful try.
3 tries in 7 minutes for the Huddersfield Giants. We had a pointless 20 minutes at the start of the game, and now Kieran Cunningham and Saints are looking at a very different scoreboard. 16-0 Huddersfield lead, half an hour gone.
Well, they're not afraid to throw the ball around, are they? They go on one side of the ruck to the other, whether it's simple carries, sucking in the Saints forwards. The line speed's good from Saints here, but as soon as Huddersfield and Danny Brough are aware of the line speed. They try and play outside the tight 3 defenders. Good monster of a hit for Walmsley.
And you want your substitutes to be able to go on and make a difference. Alex Walmsley's done that with some great defence there. Can his teammates be lifted?
And it needs a big boot from Brough to get Huddersfield up the field. And Saints now will bring it back to the 40-metre line with Shannon McDonnell.
It wasn't that a big kick. Forwards laying the platform, Brough kicking on the front foot. Jamie Ellis as well, another play direct in as Walmsley looks to take the ball forward.
Alex Walmsley in great form, making his 100th appearance for Saints in this game. Farge, short pass from him. Huddersfield now having to defend after enjoying a real purple patch. Dawson upended by Cudjoe. The pass over the head and finds Walsh eventually. Wilkin. It's on to Calvin Wellington. Wellington looking to atone for that error. And that was on the last, though. Comes to nothing for Saints.
Yeah, well, not finishing the set well, and Kieran Cunningham will be sending down that message. You've got to give the ball to someone who's going to finish the set, place it into the corner, maybe come up with an attacking kick, a repeat set of 6 when you're close to the line, shaking his head. He knows when you get down there, you've got to ask more questions, not just really take the tackle on the last play.
Kyle Wood is on for the Giants. On the bench for this one. He's been starting in recent weeks, but with Ellis returning to fitness, Paul Anderson now has more options. Grix involved there is another option. Ryan Briley, who's been in that fullback role for the last few weeks, left out for this one as the ball's picked up by Jake Connor. And Connor trying to get the pass. Well, I'm not sure whether he was. I think the ball just, as he was flung to the ground, came out.
Yeah, I think it was the impact as he's going to ground. He spins around here. I don't think that's a pass, I just think that's a mistake. As soon as he goes to ground there, Connor, Calvin Wellington, well, good defensive effort from the youngster.
It's at about this point in the match when the team that have been behind by 12, 14, 16 points have started their comeback. St Helens need to be inspired. They need to find a way here now of hurting their opponents. They've got the ball, okay, they're in their own half, but they've got to show us the skill and the rugby intelligence here now to hurt Huddersfield, find a way through it, apply some pressure and eventually put some points on the scoreboard.
Andre Cervello out on the field, just back in action after 3 games out. Walsh. And here is Walmsley. Wood. Just about half his side making the tackle. Atelier. Roby. Theo Farge on to Wilkin. Wilkin and Walsh looping round. Saints with Farge again. But Huddersfield holding their line defensively, forcing the French international across the field, and then Atelier nowhere for him to go. And Jake Connor, well, Connor was all over him, and Brough
that's a tough call, Bill, I think there. I did feel as though he looked to offload it. I know the ref has to make a decision, but I think it was an offload out the back here.
That's the right call, that.
Is that ball steal?
That's a strip, that.
But yeah, I think he's got it. It certainly looked, first looked that he was trying to offload, but I think he's just trying to recover the ball after it's been pulled out.
He's trying to put his left hand on the ball because Danny Brough's arms around the ball.
It's a penalty to St Helens. That's all that matters for supporters of the Red V, and it's an opportunity for them to get back into this game. And Atelier, well, it looked inviting for a moment, but then Rapira and Ikahihi Fo make the tackle. It's going to take half the game to say his name.
Jake Connor, I think, there stopped Walmsley a metre out. They've done the same to Wilkin. In fact, he's got overland. They've pushed him back.
How many times have we seen that play from Saints attacking the post? The lead runner over the years. So Paul Sculthorpe do it. Chris Joint do it. Now John Wilkin do it.
And John Wilkin and Joe Wardle get in a tangle, and Ben Thaler telling John Wilkin where to play the ball. Wilkin just a little bit cheesed off with that performance, feeling that Huddersfield were wasting time there. Dawson. Tackled by Seb. Fage, well, that was a little grubber that was supposed to be more productive, but in the end they'll get another set of 6, and that's probably better than Theo Fage was anticipating.
Now this is where you want your ball players to come alive.
Cervello plays the ball. Roby, Wilkin, Walsh, Fage out wide, Swift back on the inside, Dawson there on the scoreboard. Matty Dawson gets the try, great handling from Saints. Bang, 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 Dawson finishes off, 7th try for him this season, and Saints get points on the board as half-time approaches.
Well, all your key men, that's who you want. So whether it be Wilkin, Fage, Walsh or James Roby, you got 6 to go here. Look at that. The desire to get back and fight for that ball from Fage, and then I think it's Walmsley that comes in. But have a little look at all the movement in white shirts, out the back, great ball from Theo Fage. The pass inside from Swift to his centre partner, Matty Dawson. But again, everything's at the line, it's fixing those defenders, which there's a huge space then in between the centre and in between Jermaine McGilvray. Have a little look, one goes in, one goes out, there's the space.
And Matty Dawson having a good run of success in the side at the moment. He's been involved in 12 of the last 13 games, so he's getting a chance in the side. Actually had a spell with the Huddersfield Giants earlier in his career. Now then, Walsh, 2 points here would be a real bounty for the Saints. Difficult one for him though. He's had a good season so far with the boot, 52 goals to his name, and that's another one. Very nonchalant swing of the boot, bang on target. St Helens 6, Huddersfield 16, half-time approaching at St James's Park.
Well, the Saints are very good when they get close to opponent's try line. 10 metres or less from the opponent's line, they score more tries than any other team in Super League. They're brilliant at it. They've probably just not spent enough time there to give themselves an opportunity to lead at this point. But the chairman of the club, Emma McManus, knows 10 points behind, 2 or 3 minutes before half-time. They're now back in the contest. But they'll need to improve with the remaining minutes if they want to win this match.
Restart and Walmsley from the Leazes Park end of the ground. Takes it about 12 metres, and something happened in the tackle there. He was gesticulating at referee Ben Thaler, Alex Walmsley. Here's Cervello, busy, Andre.
He's another player that could make a difference, isn't he, Cervello?
John Wilkin. He's never short a commitment, is he?
Yeah, if you want to play fancy rugby, you can do that. If you want to be direct, same as Atelier there, well, he can do that as well.
Walsh, the sun out at St James's Park, and that kick hoisted, nobody really interested, and it bounces very kindly into the hands of Jermaine McGilvray.
So if you get anywhere near there again, because you see Jamie Ellis pull out with that, he didn't want anything to do with it. Maybe that's the option. Get close to the line, kick it high, and just get those white shirts in front of Huddersfield.
Cudjoe, but very quickly closed down. Cudjoe and Dawson just sparring a little bit there. And Sam Rapira. So Huddersfield, as Brough puts another good kick in, that is a great kick as well, right into the corner. Huddersfield will be pretty happy with this first 40 minutes. McDonald very quickly closed down.
Sorry, Bill, they've got to grips around the ruck. Saints with these big Huddersfield forwards, and it's just a good kicking game from Danny Brough that's getting them out of trouble, trapping Saints in the corner. What the Saints do, they get it to centre field as quick as they can, just open up that field.
Roby with the run, and now it's Walmsley. Walmsley gets the offload away, almost pounced on.
Back here. Team. Wait in. 4. Go.
Jake Connor, who was looking for that loose ball for the Giants, but couldn't get there. Kieran Cunningham, well, things looking a little bit better for him and his side after that Dawson try. The kick, a high one, and Griggs underneath it. I think he knew what he was doing there.
Well, into the sun, kicked it high, and you could just see he just wasn't confident going for that because he couldn't see the ball, so he does turn his back. So it was clever, intelligent play from the full-back.
He's tough, isn't he, Aaron Murphy? Just bounces off the opposition defenders there and then gets the penalty.
Remember, he doesn't get the headlines, but a great player.
Penalty, the hooter has sounded, but Brough will put this one into touch. The Giants will have one last shot, maybe.
What do you do? Stick it in the air, keep it alive? Nope.
Oh, no. Brough probably curbs his instincts there. He wanted to chip it over the top and chase after
down the tunnel.
But Brough ends the first half putting that ball into touch. A first half that the Giants have taken the advantage in with those 3 tries. 16-6 they lead, but at least Saints are on the board and hinting at a comeback.
They are indeed, Bill. We've seen 2 14-point fightbacks in this Magic weekend so far. Is a 16-point comeback on the cards for St Helens? You know, I somehow think that the Saints will be happy to turn around just 10 points after that opening 40 minutes. They're only 10 points adrift, and it's all to play for in the second half.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Presenting Oak Furnitureland's original rustic range, traditionally crafted for a classic timeless finish, exclusively at Oak Furnitureland.
The winner of the Budweiser Dream Goal 2016 has been chosen. Out of thousands of entries, it's Warren Byrne who takes the glory.
There's Bernie. He's thinking, no point going in there. I hold my ground. If the ball falls to me on the outside of the box, I might be able to do something special. A lovely silky first touch. Pops it up into the air with his right foot, over his head, and then Cara.
Left foot volleyed finish. That's always the way you want to finish with a goal. Always looks better. Deserved winner, Bernie.
What a finish, Warren Byrne. Thanks to all who entered, and keep going for those dream goals.
Uncharted 4, only on PlayStation, for the players.
Save money on your car insurance and household bills at Money's Supermarket. And feel epic. Fellas, you're so Money's Supermarket.
Why are some razor blades so expensive? At Bulking, we'll send you 4 quality blades for only £8. Plus, we'll deliver them to your home for free. You can order online at bulking.co.uk.
At Anglian, you can get up to 50% off all made-to-order windows and doors. Our windows are A-rated as standard, guaranteed for 10 years, and skillfully installed through our national reputation for local expertise. A reputation we've proudly been building for 50 years. Another Anglian landmark worthy of a big offer. Call 0800 500 600 or visit anglianhome.co.uk for a free, no-obligation quote. Anglian Home Improvements.
Right now, thousands of children and their families are having to make dangerous journeys to seek safety. They've fled with what little they can carry, traveling miles across land or risking their lives at sea. Children who have survived the terrifying journey are arriving with nothing. Without food, water, and shelter, their lives are in danger. Yet just £3 could help provide a child with enough life-saving food for a week. Please, text FOOD to 70030 right now. UNICEF is on the ground, providing life-saving food and water to desperately hungry children. I've seen how UNICEF works to keep refugee children safe, but we can't do it without you. No child should go without enough food to eat. Please don't wait. Text food to 70030 right now and give £3 to help save a child's life today. Thank you.
This is not going to be easy, lads. You've got to fight. Put your neck on the line. There'll be big decisions to make. You must be first to score. The right decisions will make all the difference. Here's a great offer from Betfred. Betfred, passionate about rugby league. Keep it fun. Gamble responsibly.
Available to buy and keep in Sky Store now.
Listen up, you got an assignment. We're sending you to Miami.
Miami, James, I'm going. Come here, man. All right, no, it's too soon.
Own Ride Along 2 now before it's in the shops.
Since you've been here, I've had a nightclub shootout, 20 trespassing complaints, and a car blew up.
We didn't plant the car bomb. Yeah, but we did the other stuff, James.
Buy and keep Ride Along 2 now. You'll get it straight to your TV, across your devices, and the DVD direct to your home. Buy and keep Ride Along 2 in Sky Store now.
Everton's favourite son fights for the World Cruiserweight title. Bellew v Macabu, live from Goodison Park on Sky Sports.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Sweet!
Well, if you enjoyed this weekend, we do it all again next Saturday. It's the Summer Bash. And in the infamous words of Leon Price, it's at Blackpool, which is better tthan Bondi Beach. Day 1, 2:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 5. And day 2, 12:30 p.m. The change of channel, Sky Sports 3 for that. All the championship clubs in action. All right, we're halfway through game 2 of day 2 in the 2016 Magic Weekend. And it took a while to get this scoreboard ticking over, but once it did, it registered 16 points in 9 minutes for the Huddersfield Giants. And Matty Dawson's try for St Helens may prove crucial in the context of this game. Well, Kieran Cunningham, he said after the victory over Salford, from now on I will pick my best defensive side. Well, he must have been scratching his head when he saw his side go those 16 points down to the Huddersfield Giants. And his former teammate and good friend Paul Anderson, well, sure he will be happy in this halftime dressing room. Remember, they are sitting second from bottom at the moment. Well, people are calling them a resurgent side. Said they've turned the corner even in defeat. That first half would certainly concur with that. You picked them before the game, John, to win it. They were aided and abetted by the return of a couple of very influential players that had a big say in that first 40 minutes.
Yeah, and it's interesting you talk about Kieran Cunningham saying that after that defeat he was going to pick his most defensive side, defensive orientated side. I'll take that as a negative.
His point was, we don't have a problem scoring points. I'm going to focus on the defensive aspect of our game.
Well, I'll give you something to consider then, because in Scott Griggs, Paul Anderson, in picking him from being out cold for 11 weeks in the most, in my opinion, aerobically demanding position on the field, and then knowing full well what was coming at him the last time that these two sides met, it was the kicking game that was the key for St Helens. He was rock solid under the high balls early on, would have given his team an awful lot of confidence, and has repaid that faith shown by a really positive move, if you like, from Paul Anderson.
Great play here.
And that was key to how this first half was flowing. And we'll finish with, I think, the best piece of involvement. This is something, if you follow Scott Griggs and track him along the baseline here, these are the things that are often the last to come back, the timing. And I mean timing not just in terms of passing and receiving a ball, but timing of where you are in a defensive line and being able to hit the man at the right time. And a very accomplished first 40 minutes on return from Scott.
The first half of that first 40 minutes was scoreless. Took a while for the scoreboard to move, but there were still chances in that opening period.
Yeah, I think Huddersfield, if you remember, you try and kind of summarise in your head the first 40 minutes, I seem to remember Huddersfield shirts streaming through a rather fractured-looking Saints defensive line.
From the usual suspects
as well. But there were still some poor decisions being made at this point in the game. So they get themselves into a fantastic position. There's no need to panic at this stage. And it's Leroy Cudjoe just lets the side down a little bit at the end of this piece of passage of play. I think perhaps overplayed his hand a little. But what was pleasing to see, and what would have been pleasing for Huddersfield fans in the stadium, is that he corrected that error later on. Another break down the edge of the field. This time he waits and finds the perfect offload. And this is where we introduce the second of our influential people. Because just at the breakdown of this play now, I'll pick out the one man for you. Jamie Ellis. He's just getting buffeted by a retreating Kyler Moore. Have a look at him, because he takes the briefest of looks into this area, and that's enough for him. There you go. And that's enough for him now to override the call from Danny Brough on the long side, go short, find his support, and open the scoring through Jermaine McGillvray. Don't forget, Jamie Ellis himself has been out for 11 weeks, and only his second game back after that defeat down in Perpignan. Fantastic first half from him as well.
Okay, Huddersfield second from bottom of the table. When you're in that position, people question the confidence in your camp. And to prove that they might be lacking in confidence, you look at the way they play. And if it's not an expansive, you say it's because they're lacking in confidence. This Huddersfield side are willing to pass the ball around. And if that's any indication of confidence in the camp, they've got it in abundance, exemplified by Jamie Ellis's try.
It was superb. And there's a couple of things we'll talk about at the end of this piece of play. And we'll come back to where this play started from. We've tracked Jamie Ellis for you. He's the man who ends up scoring the try. I think when in commentary we were talking about this line here run by Danny Brough, which he's completely entitled to do. There were a couple of footsteps there where arguably he got in front of Jamie Ellis, and there was a technical discussion about whether that would be an obstruction or not. I would say, look at the start point of that play, look at the lack of complaint from St Helens, in particular James Roby, who was arguably the one with the most to complain about. Nobody going to the referee, nobody arguing, and I think what they've done there is there's a realisation that they've just given up 80 metres and a breakaway try from a side who is, as you say, throwing the ball out, but not low percentage plays. They're playing what they see. It's composed. They're executing well, and they fully deserve the halftime lead that they've got. They are playing in a position. They're playing in a way which belies their position on the table.
All right, St Helens trailing at half-time. They will have a chance. If you've watched Magic Weekend, they've got every chance of coming back and winning this game. And if they do, you'd imagine it would be conversations between these two men that will be oh so important. Luke Walsh will be pulling the strings for the St Helens side. To say Paul Anderson, this is a side that must be sitting pretty at the moment. They're looking at the Leeds Rhinos below them in all sorts of trouble. They're only one position higher on the table, but playing with an awful amount of confidence. Okay, very short break coming up now. After that, we got the second 40 minutes of Game 2 of Day 2 of Magic Weekend. That's it.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Whatever you're doing, there's always time to play with your friends. And at meccabingo.com this month, we're giving away £12 million in prize money. Visit meccabingo.com today for your chance to win. Mecca Bingo. Come and play at our house. And remember, keep it fun.
The winner of the Budweiser Dream Goal 2016 has been chosen. Out of thousands of entries, it's Warren Byrne who takes the glory.
There's Bernie. He's thinking, no point going in there. I hold my ground. If the ball falls to me on the outside of the box, I might be able to do something special. A lovely silky first touch. Pops it up into the air with his right foot, over his head, and then Cara.
Left foot volleyed finish. That's always the way you want to finish with a goal. Always looks better. Deserved winner, Bernie.
What a finish, Warren Byrne. Thanks to all who entered, and keep going for those dream goals.
Uncharted 4, only on PlayStation, for the players.
Our American cousins don't really do subtle. Take our 7-foot friend here. Can't exactly miss him. Sometimes more obvious is better. Water-activated Gorilla Glue sticks stone, wood, metal, ceramic, and more, forming an incredibly strong bond. It sure is tough, buddy. America's best-selling glue. Have you tried Gorilla Tape? You've never tried tape like it. It's tough, reinforced and weather-resistant. No wonder it's also America's best-selling duct tape.
Right now, thousands of children and their families are having to make dangerous journeys to seek safety. They've fled with what little they can carry, traveling miles across land or risking their lives at sea. Children who have survived the terrifying journey are arriving with nothing. Without food, water and shelter, their lives are in danger. Yet just £3 could help provide a child with enough life-saving food for a week. Please, text FOOD to 70030 right now. UNICEF is on the ground, providing life-saving food and water to desperately hungry children. I've seen how UNICEF works to keep refugee children safe, but we can't do it without you. No child should go without enough food to eat. Please don't wait. Text FOOD to 70030 right now and give £3 to help save a child's life today. Thank you.
A goal is a goal is a goal. It doesn't matter how it goes in, all that counts is that the ball crosses that white line. But in the final match of the Euros, the first goal is worth £1 million. Just predict the first scorer and the minute they'll score it. Simple as. The Bet Victor £1 million goal. It's not how it's scored, it's when and by who.
Welcome to Redbridge Rovers FC, son.
They're a joke of a football club.
Well, I still don't understand how we lost. I was wearing my lucky hat.
Whose loyal supporters...
How do you do?
Don't show off.
Can't help but dream big.
What'd you win?
Signed photo of Ian Dowie.
Be part of something truly special.
We've named the Overflow car park after you.
A brand new comedy in a non-league all of its own. Rovers starts Tuesday at 10 on Sky One.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
And Gale kicks cross field. Ben Cooks claims it. Millington, it's still on the last. Ben Roberts comes across the field. They've gone from one side to the other. Gets the pass away to Webster. Webster puts his foot to the ground. Gale, Springer. Springer, can he get the pass away? Springer does get the pass away. Momentum off the door. What a try! What a try! From the class of the Tigers and the Storm. They would not let it die. And that's what makes them one of the most exciting sides to watch in this competition. Finished off by Luke Dawn, but virtually everybody else in the side had a hand in that.
And this second game of day two is well and truly hanging in the balance. Only 10 points in it now, courtesy of Dawson's try just before half-time, improved by Luke Walsh. Huddersfield Giants ahead 16-0 at the time. McGilvery, Ty and Ellis's tries, and 2 goals from Danny Brough. Earlier this season, 5th of February, St Helens 30, Huddersfield 16. The Giants on course to claim a little bit of revenge. Teams and referee on the way for the start of the second half. Back to our commentators, Phil Clark, Brian Carney and Terry O'Connor and Bill Arthur.
Ready for the resumption here, ready for the finale here as well, because Hull FC and Hull Kingston Rovers supporters coming into the ground hasn't really quite had the intensity of atmosphere in the stadium today, but I suspect there's still some intensity to come in this game, and there will be intensity later on when FC and Rovers go head-to-head. But there's plenty of drama left in this one, you feel. And Huddersfield, having seen their lead just nibbled away at by Saints coming back towards the end of that first half, know that the job isn't done here yet, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Been impressed with that Ikihihi for the way he's carried that ball, so strong. He's lining up again here. He wants it again.
Keen to get involved, Sebastian Ikihihi. St George let him go. That was forward. Look forward to Jake Connor, but the referees let it go to Aaron Murphy. And it's the Giants keeping it alive.
Well, the Tigers were great yesterday with some of their attack.
Well, look at this, because they've gone from one side of the field to the other, and McGilvray could be in for a second, and he is. What a start to the second half, but take it back to a pass earlier on in that movement on the other side of the field that looked distinctly forward. There was just a little pause. One or two people stopped anticipating a whistle. It didn't come, and Huddersfield, just like Castleford, as we saw against Warrington in that magic moment a moment ago, went from one side of the field to the other, and Jermaine McGilvray does what he does best, finished off in the corner for his second of the game.
Well, what a perfect start from Paul Anderson, man. And I agree with you. I think this pass goes forward. They're lucky to get away with that. It's definitely not a line ball to Jake Connor. It does go forward, and there's some doubt about the second one, but keeping the ball alive. Look at him just holding up the defenders. The ball goes to a player in better motion. Ikihihi for, that's the third touch in that set of 6. And look, it's just like basketball. Fine, man. Give the ball to somebody in space, and look at the finish there from Jermaine McGilvray. Gets rid of Shannon McDonald and goes over the opening try in the second half.
McGilvray's 13th try of the season. Gruff. Oh, what a kick that is, again from wide out. And St Helens, having thought that they'd got themselves back into the game and got themselves into the position for a real tilt, see this happen, and they'll feel hard done by.
Well, they still had a chance to defend, didn't they, after that? The pass maybe does go forward. The touches is in a better position than we are, or possibly these camera angles as well, which don't always give you the best view. And the rule said the sideline judge makes the decision, but it's taken them just over 60 seconds to get the first 6 points. There can't be a better way to start the second half than doing what they've done there. They've shifted the ball, they've passed it accurately, albeit maybe forward in your opinion, Bill, and they've scored a great try in the right corner.
It wasn't just my opinion.
I don't want to sit next to you in school.
Who?
Bill.
I wouldn't sit next to you in school, don't worry. Be looking over my paper.
Do you know, Michael Lawrence was a top performer in the first half. 33 tackles he made.
Well, that's obviously not what was on the hymn sheet for Saints. We'll find out maybe what was. Angela Powers down on the sidelines.
Thanks, Bill. Well, you can imagine that Paul Anderson's very happy with this start. He wants to make sure that their team dominate the ruck, the wrestle at the ruck, and make sure they slow it down, stop Saints from playing so quickly. 3 main tenets of their attack this half. They want to play direct, play with patience, and play more clinically, but happy so far. Kieran Cunningham not too concerned at this stage, but they do need to win the energy battle and not give away easy yardage. They need to do a better job in containing the back line of the Giants, in particularly McGilvray and Cudjoe. So, you know, that last try shows why.
Saints with Walsh down the sidelines, puts a good kick in. Yeah, but Jermaine McGilvray already giving warning.
Difficult kick to get away. That the angle was really narrow. He puts it there, just knocks it off the pitch, gathers his thoughts, maybe helps his team now. Even though they're just 4 minutes into the game, they just need to refocus what the direction that the coach has said at half-time, because it wasn't a good start.
They've got time to score the points, there's no debate there. I think what they've got to do is try and improve the defence, is whether they can avoid conceding any more points. I think they've got the chance, they've got the time to get 18 points in the remaining 35 minutes. But is the defence good enough to cope with what's been blistering attacking play from the Huddersfield side?
Well, this is the sort of form that Huddersfield showed getting to the semi-finals last season and coming close to a grand final appearance. And you just don't mention Ryan Hall around the John Smith Stadium still after what happened at the end of last season, but it could have been a different story for them. And this season, second from bottom, but this performance certainly belying that so far. And here is Ikehihifo, who's impressed.
Well, he seems to fit whatever what the Giants wanted, wouldn't it? A player who would, in traffic, offload the ball there now, building in confidence. Sam Rapira, sorry, I should say, obviously likes to do that whenever he can. Akumatai does as well. They've got players, maybe they're building the team in a mould that allows itself to capitalise on that advantage of second phase possession.
They're coming again now. Wardle puts the kick in, but this time it sits up nicely for Swift, and Saints get their hands on the ball and really haven't had an opportunity to do that so much in this second half. And Dawson, their try scorer in the first half, plays the ball.
No, Bill, and some of the bigger forwards for Saints, they're really struggling at present. It's their job to take them forward and give Luke Walsh a platform to play off, and James Roby, the man who's behind dummy half.
Walsh, now Walmsley, but they're there to meet him in the Giants reception committee.
Well, they're tackling in numbers, they're slowing the bigger forwards down, they're communicating in defence.
Walsh once more, Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook straightening up, and good job that Ikehihifo was there to make the tackle. And then Walsh puts a kick up. Swift will challenge for it, but McGilvray able to claim that one for the Giants.
Well, he can do it all, can't he, Jermaine McGilvray? He was under pressure. It was a pinpoint kick from Luke Walsh.
It was, Terry, but if we're really talking about fine detail, it didn't allow his teammates to challenge for that ball, did he? By the time they could get there, he'd already collected it and caught the ball in possession.
He's still in his eye line. It's a bit harsh, that, though, Phil.
No, but if you were to criticise Luke Walsh, he needs to give his teammate a chance to contest for the possession, and he didn't on that kick.
Plenty of black and white in the grounds already ahead of Hull FC against Hull Kingston Rovers. Will it be happy black and white? There hasn't been a lot of happy black and white at St James's Park this season. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook has picked that ball up, but there was a knock on. There are the FC supporters, and that leaves his park end of the ground. And the Rovers contingent dotted around the stadium as well. That ball knocked on.
Well, Morgan Knowles working hard for Mark and Lou McCarthy. Huddersfield ball again, just 40 metres from their own line.
Do those second row need to bend down and actually get in the scrum, Stuart?
They should be all bound in, which they sort of got there eventually, I think. Is that good enough? Sort of got there. Nowadays, yes. The Giants leading by 22 points to 6. That's McGilvray try right at the start of this second half has taken a bit of steam out of Saints, and a penalty likewise. Walmsley, blood coming from a cut on his forehead, I think.
I would say this in rugby league, that team that makes mistakes, sometimes there's frustration, they try to buy a bit of time, they then concede a penalty. Back-to-back errors for Kieran Cunningham's men.
So the penalty, and McGilvray always keen for the confrontation. Jermaine McGilvray. Ikehihifo. Well, he's got right stuck into it, hasn't he? Right from the word go at his new club. And they're getting stuck in again with Sam Rapira here. He's tackled just short of that Saints try line. Short ball, Ikehihifo trying his chance. He plays the ball. Oh, and this time they are over. And Sam Rapira, well, he came close a moment ago, but Ken Davey, the Giants chairman, is on his feet to salute a try by the former Kiwi international Sam Rapira, and it was Simplicity himself as the Saints defence very kindly opened up, and he gets his second try of the season.
Well, the space is here. Ikehihifo, he's putting himself about, isn't he? Looks like there's twins out there, the amount of times he's carrying the ball, and look at John Wilkin, I think it is, who goes in. He's trying to close the play down at the ruck with Wood. Leaves a huge space, and even if it was a one-on-one with Theo Fage, and Theo Fage was in a better position, it was going to be difficult to stop the former Kiwi international.
Sam Rapira made an impressive debut for the Giants in round 1 at Saints. He's been ever present in the side since then. And Saints looking mighty disjuffed with life at the moment.
Well, if you've been living overseas, come back to see the first Magic weekend in your entire history, and came here, I think you'd end up saying that the Huddersfield Giants, well, they must be one of the top 2 teams in the competition. I've watched the other sides play. Obviously, we've got Hull and Ulster to come next. But they, perhaps behind Castleford, they've been the most impressive side. They've been good. There's no way you guess that they sat towards the foot of this table the way they've played here today. In a very, very good performance from them from the start. They've shown they can attack, they've shown they can defend here, and they turn the chances into tries. It'll be interesting what happens now in the remaining half an hour, because 28 points to 6 is a convincing victory. Can they build on it and look even more dominant?
The Giant supporters enjoying this. And Earl Crabtree back on the field, probably been catching up on some sleep after the arrival of Elias last weekend. He missed the game in Perpignan while his partner Marie was giving birth, and back in action in this game, Ryan Hinchcliffe. They've made some good signings, the Giants, which is another mystifying thing about their position in the table. I mean, Sam Rapier has been ever present. Ryan Hinchcliffe has been effective.
They're not just good signings, but they're big signings as well, aren't they?
Well, they brought Ryan Braley to the side, didn't they? And he's not playing here today.
And Ellis, well, that's out on the full. The first mistake of the second half. Ryan Braley, there he is in the stand, sitting watching this one.
I'm sure he'd love to be out there. But the returning Scott Griggs, as you said before, Bill, not played since round 1. But you'd love to play behind this big set of forwards. If you're a Huddersfield player and a playmaker, the likes of Griggs, the likes of Brough or Ellis.
You think if there was a chance for St Helens, Terry, it would be to move that big pack that you referred to around. Getting the outside backs to do the same work that McGilvery does for Huddersfield and that Murphy does for Huddersfield. I'm just not seeing it at the moment.
You know, Brian, even if you do move them around, they've still got size on the edges, haven't they? In McGilvery, Cudjoe, Murphy and Connor. So they're not a small pack across the park.
Fage. Shannon McDonald plays the ball with Theo Fage again. Here is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Saints desperate to turn this game round, stop the Giants' dominance. Knowles has got that ball back to Theo Fage, and Fage is looking for some support. Oh, it's come up for Ellis. Ellis intercepting and then finding McGilvray, hoping that he could get his winger away, but Saints at least with Swift making the tackle able to cover that danger.
Yeah, well, it's just all coming off for Huddersfield to get a penalty here. Jamie Ellis getting himself between 2 Saints players when the offload comes in. I think it was from Morgan Knowles. But good play. Theo Fage gets out, makes a play for that. Strips the ball. The penalty is awarded. And then all of a sudden, it's a cheap 40 metres. And Saints are defending just 30 metres or 20 metres from the line.
I think it was a harsh penalty on Fage.
Yeah, he seemed to be square and got around to make a legitimate attempt at playing the ball.
As it is, the penalty has pushed Saints way back down the field. It was a good kick, and they're now virtually back on their own try line, having been pressing on the Giants' try line, and Hinchcliffe taking them across the field, and Brough,
Skills.
What skill to score in the corner. That's sensational. The little kick. I think it was Jake Connor.
Yeah,
who put boot to ball, collected his kick, and Murphy, he cannot believe that. I don't think the crowd can. It is all going right for the Huddersfield Giants.
How many Newcastle football players would love skills like that? Perfectly weighted kick, wasn't it, to a teammate? That's absolutely quality. We've seen some great tries over the weekend.
He kicked it to himself, Terry.
Yeah, well, he kicks it up, and he thought his teammate was going to get it. Just have a little look. Do you think that's a planned move, Phil?
Practiced it all week. Well, at one end of the field, just a moment ago, St Helens had a chance to perhaps get back. They didn't convert it into a try. An offload just didn't quite find his man. Huddersfield with a penalty to get to the other end and score in the diagonal corner.
Brilliant, that, isn't it? You know, you watch that try, Jake Connor, well, he's looking for where that ball is. He focuses on catching it and then giving it to his teammate.
there'll be a lot of teams, I think, today looking at the fixture list, and supporters, I suppose, thinking, do we have to play Huddersfield again yet before round 23?
Wakefield.
There's several sides thinking, I hope we can avoid a game against the Giants because we're going to hit them at the wrong time.
Well, that was pretty sensational stuff for Aaron Murphy to claim his 6th try of the season, and Brough has landed another conversion and must be purring with satisfaction. Paul Anderson, everything going right in this game for his side. Murphy with the try, but what about Jake Connor's intervention here?
Oh, we've seen him play at fullback, in the centres, in the halves. Very talented player. His passing game is great, but just that touch with his foot, you'd have to think he absolutely knew he wanted to just get the ball, gentle touch off his foot, and see what came of it. Of course, he was the man to be able to bring it down and give it on to Murphy. I don't know that he planned it to pan out the exact same way, but you would imagine that it was either him or Murphy. Just put the ball up in the air and see what happens.
I think he was thinking, that's a poor pass, that goes to me boot, then all of a sudden he's looking for it.
Well, you were asking Phil about who's got the prospect of playing the Giants next. Is Widnes, who aren't in particularly good form at the moment, but the Giants will go to Widnes in round 16, and they've got successive home games against Castleford and Wakefield. Could be 2 cracking games, those, given the way those 2 sides are playing.
Well, out on the full here, Danny Brough again kicking early in the set, trying to turn Saints around and just ask them to bring the ball away close to the line. Ooh, nothing in that. Intelligent player, Danny Brough. When he's on, isn't he? His kicking game, his running game, his passing game.
So Saints trailing by 34 points to 6 at St James's Park. They beat Warrington on this ground last year, but they are heading for a thumping defeat at the moment.
Well, I mean, they've got over 20 minutes here now to see what maybe change your memory of this match. Very often after magic counters, one of the coach or players have come out with some very strong self-criticism. Be interesting at the end of this game, if things get worse, just what is said, because they're clearly, I know they've won the last 3 games in Super League, but haven't really played with the confidence or swagger that they have in previous seasons. And although they sit in the top half of the table, don't look like a real contender this year.
Well, they might be contenders here because they're coming forward and trying to get points on the board, and they will do in the corner. And Jack Owens turns the tide. And is that the start of a Saints comeback? He gets his first in Saints colours. And Danny Brough, well, he can hang his head because his kick went down on the full, and this was the outcome.
Well, it all started to play the ball, and James Roby spotting that Huddersfield player can't get back setting the line, so it means that another number of players push in, and Saints, when they go at the line and when they entice defenders to jump the line, make the wrong decision, who's going to bite in, who are they going to isolate? You can see them all bouncing on the feet. They don't want to make that decision and commit and leave space on the edge.
It is a really nice catch and pass from Jordan Turner. He started the game on the subs bench. It's the last pass that's made in this chain here. Takes it in quickly and gives it softly there to Jack Owens. And I've often heard Eddie Hemmings say, commentating on St Helens matches, never write off the Saints.
If Walsh could add 2 here, that would be a bonus, but he's pushed it across the face of the posts. St Helens 10, Huddersfield 34. The coach impassive up in the stand. Jack Owens have the buzz of satisfaction at getting his first try in Saints colours at least.
24 points down with 22 on the clock, Phil. That's
4 converted tries. It's 4 converted tries in 20 minutes plus.
So 1 every 5 minutes here.
Well, back-to-back
Hold
tries.
on to your seats, lads.
You 2 guys both watch a lot of rugby league, and you know that when a team has scored a try, it's not uncommon to see them score again in the next set here. Saints would have to do that, and then you may start to believe me.
It's been done this season. Hull did it at that sort of rate against Hull Kingston Rovers on Good Friday.
Yeah, they did. All the big guns firing on that occasion in the last 20 minutes.
Saints would really, really have to cut loose, wouldn't they? There's no time for methodical, get it there and then put the play on.
Well, I think they'd have to overpower Huddersfield in the middle, and then obviously look to play to the edge like they do here.
you're a St Helens supporter, you've just got to believe.
Lamatasi takes the Saints over the halfway line. Well, another try in quick succession, and maybe that belief would start to grow. But that's the fifth tackle in this set. So Walsh hoists a big kick, Gricks underneath it and claims it. Oh, he doesn't claim it. And Farge will get the try. Is it a legitimate one? Referee Ben Thaler, no hesitation. Uh-oh. Saints score again.
I believe you, Phil.
I thought Gricks had got that ball. He thought he'd got it. It somehow squirmed out of his grasp, and Theo Farge gets his 6th try of the season.
Well, he does get the ball, and it's the attacking kick again. The height from Luke Walsh here. He catches the ball, but have a little look. There's 4 white jerseys that's in his eye line, and that doesn't half put you off as a rugby league player. You're concentrating on catching the ball. You know you're under pressure. You've just conceded a try. The previous set of 6, Saints have marched Huddersfield down the line. Then all of a sudden, John Wilkin is there, jogging on the spot, picks up the ball. A nice, soft little pass to Theo Farge. That's 6 points, Bill.
Walsh does not miss. Huddersfield have scored 34 points this season and lost 34-38 against Castleford.
Well, they say it doesn't matter how you start the season, it's how you finish. It's about the same with a game in Super League. It doesn't matter how you start, it's if you've got to finish with more points than your opponents. And St Helens still have a chance here now. They're under no pressure now. They've just got to make sure they convert every chance they get here now. And the defence has to be perfect. They can't concede again.
St Helens 16, Huddersfield 34. Just over an hour gone in this penultimate game of the Magic Weekend. Hull FC against Hull Kingston Rovers to round things off. And Hull with the prospect of going top of the Super League table. Alongside me, Ian Proctor is just waiting for somebody to ask, when was the last time Hull topped the table?
Well, let's see if they can come up with another set of 6 like the previous one. Lou McCarthy tucking the ball under his wing, running really hard.
Crabtree with a
penalty.
On. Yes.
Oh, it's all going Saints' way.
You do see scoring swings. It happens, doesn't it, where one team may score 20 unanswered points, 30 occasionally at times. And the Saints have got to hope that theirs is in this next 18 minutes.
Oh, we saw that yesterday. Was it the Warrington game against Castleford?
I saw it also if you went to Leeds and Castleford as well. There was a period where Castleford scored 40 unanswered points in a 45-minute period. Teams get on a roll and just keep putting the points on the board.
Kyle Amor drives it up the middle of the field. Here's Farge, quick hands. And Huddersfield, just an air of unease about their defence at the moment as Shannon McDonald plays that ball. Kyle Amor, again, right into the heart of the Giants' defence. Wilkin, Farge on, and good tackle by Jermaine McGilvray. He might even have got the ball. No, can't quite do that, but great tackle on Matty Dawson. Farge, Wilkin, and that's...
Second time, Bill, that's the second time that they've really come up with a poor option on the last play. I understand sometimes you passed it and hope to score, but he's asking a great deal there from John Wilkin to crash through at that point.
Well, Brough and Ellis, who got the plaudits at half-time for their contribution to the first 40 minutes, are going to have to take this game by the scruff of the neck now. The clock is in their favour, scoreboard is in their favour, but St Helens have got their tails up. And Danny Brough, whose kick out on the full, helped turn this game slightly towards St Helens. Might have to come up with something special to try and break the resolve of St Helens now in this next few minutes.
Oh, he's back on, Bill.
Nikahihi with a strong run. And then Brough looking for a 40-20. Hasn't quite got the angle on that, but it's still a good kick. It's a great kick.
Tremendous. Kicking again on the third plate. Getting away from the try line, knowing that Saints are now starting to turn that corner, believing in themselves. And this is where Saints face the challenge. One of the biggest challenges coming into, what, just 16 minutes to go in this game. Track close to the line.
I think they need to look to imitate what their opponents did in the first half and attack here rather than just single-man runs down the middle. Perhaps try and stretch the defence. Shift the ball. Maybe Walsh is going to do it right now to the right.
Here is Luke Walsh. Shows it once and then slings the pass out to Jack Owens. And Owens is able to get the ball back infield to Walsh. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, and he was trying to get a hand free. He still manages to get it away. And Saints keeping this alive. Farge, good tackle. Ryan Hinchcliffe it was. Roby, and Wilkin, normally so dependable, couldn't take the pass. But that's what Saints have got to do.
Is that not Jermaine McGilvery kicking the ball into touch?
No, I think he's ruled a knock-on off John Wilkin.
From John Wilkin.
He didn't kick it before.
No, I think he's ruled that it's hit the floor and, then he's kicked it. So it's not a.
Okay.
Well, it's almost a drop kick, isn't it?
Well, reaching forward, you can see that because it touches the floor there, John Wilkin.
Well, that's actually classed as a drop kick. Kicking the ball when it hits the ground, simultaneously hitting the ball. So anyway, we've got a knock on.
Good shot from Tazi on Earl Crabtree. See if some of his teammates around the middle can come up with further hits like that.
Have the Giants staunch the flow after those quick fire tries from Saints. Just unnerved them a little bit, certainly unnerved the Giant supporters. Sebik Ahihifo. Paul Anderson will be very impressed with the first showing from his new recruit. Hinchcliffe, very experienced player, Ryan Hinchcliffe, and Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook was high on him.
Well, it was a lunging tackle, wasn't it, from LMS?
Go for two.
Yeah, well, they're just debating that now. All the players adding
counting
up.
It, that's
what
20.
is it now? So it's 22. I heard someone call out 36.
Somebody said it'll make 18. There's a no, it's 20.
So yes, I think the kicking tee has been summoned for Danny Brough, Magic's top goal kicker. Magic's top point scorer as well, Danny Brough.
You don't blame them, do you, Bill, for taking this? Not only will it extend the scoreline, it'll just take the sting out of St Helens. Give Huddersfield, you would imagine, the ball back coming out of their own half, and it might just stem that mini revival we saw from St Helens that gave them 10 points in just 3 minutes.
46 goals he's kicked at the various Magic events. That's another one for Danny Brough, and that'll settle the Giants' nerves and make the task, well, it was already a tall order for Saints, and now it really does become beyond them, I think, even aside of Saints' capabilities.
Yeah, and just put doubt in the opposition, doesn't it? Obviously, had a good 10-minute spell, Saints, but then Huddersfield under that man, the guidance from the likes of Hinchcliffe around the ruck, coming up with that penalty. It just takes the game further away from Saints. It's been a very good signing, I think, Ryan Hinchcliffe. Even though they've not picked up the results, the way that he leads that side around, well, he's been absolutely quality.
He's been ever present since he signed this season. Sam Rapira, new recruit, ever present. Leroy Cudjoe, another ever present, slightly longer than those two.
Well, the kick was slightly longer than he'd hoped. If that was a short restart, it went 30 metres and none of his teammates could get to challenge for it in the air. The small detail, isn't it, that makes the difference. A couple of last tackle options just before they conceded that penalty when they were 18 points behind. Didn't really apply the pressure or get the end result that St Helens needed to keep the hopes alive in the match. It's a disappointing trip back from the northeast for their supporters, I'm sure, tonight.
And it's pretty typical of this Saints season, isn't it? Highs and lows for the Saints. Kick into the corner, a good one from Brough.
Well, I said before the game, Bill, even in you look at the last 5 games for Saints, they've won 3 of them. And in those games, they've conceded an average of 30 points. They've gone over that again in this game. So Kieran Cunningham, very good defender, very passionate man when he played for Saints. And these results will be hurting him.
Danny Brough claiming to referee Ben Thaler that ball was touched by a Saints player on the way through there. But Ben Thaler's having none of it.
Is there an element of the crying wolf in that scenario?
Possibly.
Good defence from Oliver Roberts, this young Irish international. Kyle Amor.
And it's hurt Swift as well. Just going back to the sideline, take his place. He's in real pain here as the physio comes on.
There is Adam Swift. He's just back in the side after missing 9 games, the winger. Had an ankle problem, he now could have a wrist problem. Walsh, Wilkin onto Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. And he gets a good pass away to Roby. Roby up the middle of the field, back with Wilkin. Wilkin onto Dawson. Dawson cutting back in field and gets away from the defenders. It's good work. 10 metres out. Roby for Walsh, over the top to Jordan Turner, and Turner managing to stay on the field and finds Jack Owens. Owens back in field to Kyle Amor. Amor drifting across the field, finds Theo Farge. Farge has Swift outside him, and Swift in the corner. Well, that is a great try from Saints. We have seen some crackers this Magic weekend, and there's another one. Saints keeping the ball alive. Adam Swift nursing that wrist injury, able to clutch the ball and finish off. And Saints still defiant, but the clock is against them.
Well, Saints' DNA over the years is keeping the ball around, moving the opposition, going close to the defenders, pulling them over the line, offloading the ball at will. You want someone to jump the line, make the wrong decision. You go from one side of the pitch to the other, and the prop forward, Kyle Amore's given far too much space to skirt across maybe 3 or 4 players to hand the ball to Theo Farge, who then in turn gives it to Adam Swift. He was struggling just a couple of sets earlier.
Well, it was wide to Owens and back to Swift, wasn't it? But I don't think it's going to end with the same happy result for the St Helens side as it did all those years ago with that spectacular try.
Just shows what they're capable of, though, this Saints side. The conversion is missed by Walsh. St Helens 20, Huddersfield 36 the score.
Well, this is the bravery as a rugby player, isn't it?
That's how Swift got injured.
Yeah, he gets injured, then he goes to the sideline, takes his position on the wing, and then the try, gets himself back there on the edge, and a good finish as well.
You know what, I wouldn't be too despondent if I was a St Helens fan short term. Short term I mean for season 2016. They will need recruitment for next year, there's no doubt about that. But they went into this game knowing that a win will put them level on the top of the table, just separated by points difference from sides that we've been praising throughout the season. And in this game, they haven't played far off their average, I would say, for the season. They're losing, and they're going to probably lose this against the second place team, second from bottom in the league. But such is the nature of this season that the performances that St Helens have come up with have been good enough to get them near the top of the table, and they haven't been much better than this.
So what does that say about the sides up at the top of the table?
Well, it's Bill, I should say, but I beg your pardon, as you've said many times, made it quite clear, it is at times a very average season, but it's mean there's a spread and there's a threat from all teams in this competition. We have a very unpredictable Super League.
Certainly looks that way. The way this table is going to look come the end of this Magic weekend, not a lot of people would have probably predicted. This is if Hull beat Hull Kingston Rovers, and that's not a given. But if the Black and Whites do win, see them top of the table.
Well, not the way that Hull FC started off the season.
Absolutely, you remember that game at Widnes?
Yep, there's teams that started the season really well and all of a sudden they fell away. Teams that started poorly, all of a sudden they're pushing for the top.
Griggs, no mistake this time as he claims that ball.
And that's probably poor. Although he was put under pressure, when that kick goes in the air, you've got a Saints player running either side of him. Those players have got to come together and make sure that they come up with the tackle.
Nathan Mason, another one of these impressive Huddersfield youngsters. There's Griggs claiming that ball.
He's a monster, Nathan Mason. As is this man.
McGilvray, slightly more experienced than 22-year-old Nathan Mason. He's 28 years old now. McGilvray. Here's Roberts. Brough. Griggs. Akumatai. And they're toying with this Saints sides now.
Is that a miniature rugby he's got in his hands there?
Miniature ball.
Oh, the size of it, just playing with him now. Holds it in one hand, just enticing one of the Saints defenders to jump out of the line. Is it John Wilkin that goes over the top?
Could be more points for the Giants here. Kyle Amor, the man penalised. 2 balls on the field, and Swift is instructed by referee Thaler to remove one of them. Here's Ellis now. Roberts. Frustrating really for Saints. Mason now, try scorer against the Catalan Dragons last weekend in Perpignan. Looks a really good prospect. Hinchcliffe will try it himself and wrap it up, and all smiles for the Huddersfield Giants. And Ryan Hinchcliffe gets his first for the club. It's been all round a very, very pleasing afternoon for the Huddersfield Giants. No wonder they are all smiles. Hinchcliffe, in his debut season with the club, bags of experience for Melbourne Storm, and bringing that to the Giants and putting it to good use.
Well, he's made it look too easy here. There's a penalty. St Helens' hand, perhaps Kyle Amor's comes over and hits the ball. That puts the Huddersfields within 5 metres or so from the line. He throws the dummy and just pushes over. James Roby on his back. And he carries the number 9. St Helens, perhaps best player, over for another 4 points, and sums up really Huddersfield. Maybe the key, if Hull and Hull Care are watching this game, their supporters know, don't start too well in this Magic contest, because it was Saints who had a significant lead, and then Huddersfield have worked their way back in, and as we've seen on a couple of occasions in these matches, gone on from strength to strength. 42 points to 20. Very impressive performance by the Huddersfield Giants.
Certainly not a scoreline anticipated by a lot of people. Hinchcliffe on the sidelines having a breather. Came to the club from Melbourne Storm, where he had a very, very successful career.
Sorry, Bill, he scores a try and then he gets substituted.
Well, he's earned a breather. Short kick-off, but Giants deal with that. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, no shortage of commitment from him.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden now, Huddersfield getting the ball far too easy from the sideline into centre field. As Jake Connors lose the ball here, there's numbers in. I think it's Morgan Knowles and Kyle Amor who are involved in the tackle. And you can just see as they're just pushing off, yeah, it's a clear loss from Jake Connor.
But that'll be one of the memorable Magic moments, that try for Aaron Murphy that came from Jake Connor's improvisation. An up and under to himself.
Well, we always see some good tries. Perfect conditions here. It's not been raining, and we've still got Hull FC and Hull KR to come. I'm sure we're going to see some good tries in that game, and maybe some big hits as well.
It is a great venue, St James's Park. Well, unless you're on the losing end of a scoreline like this, but from the supporters' point of view, can't be too many complaints. Walmsley, Saints looking for a final flourish here, and Alex Walmsley will take some putting down there, 10 metres out. Walsh, Theophage. But Fage this time cannot make progress. Connor with the tackle. Telavea, but he slips. That has been an issue, has been mentioned. This surface that has caused one or two players to lose their footing. Now then, can Swift get a second? Not a lovely ball back inside. Dawson can, though. It was forward. Referee Ben Taylor says that'll be the turnover.
Yeah, forward pass. Again, just looking to finish. Put a smile on the face of some of the Saints players, but Jermaine McGilvray, well, he shows him the outside, Adam Swift, and he has that covered, even if it's not a forward pass, and maybe would have been forced off the pitch. But a decent, comprehensive performance from Huddersfield. A couple of things for them I'm sure Paul Anderson will pick out that they must improve on if they want to just keep climbing up the table. And for Saints, well, I'm sure that they'll be working hard at training next week.
Well, Huddersfield still with a lot of work to do if they are to avoid middle eight involvement. But on this evidence, they're certainly capable of climbing that table and overhauling the sides above them.
Well, they look like they've got a far better chance than the Leeds Rhinos, who don't they, are working their way back up to the top 8, the way they played here. Got the try on the cards right now.
And it's Cudjoe. Cudjoe for Ellis. They are queuing up, and Kyle Woods will finish it off. He had about 3 options there, Cudjoe, and it was Wood eventually who took the pass. And Saints, well, they are shell-shocked, disappointed and dejected. The Giants are cock-a-hoop because Kyle Wood has added to their tally with his first try of the season.
And just 2 minutes to go here. When they go through, this is where Huddersfield have been really good. The forwards just running onto the ball, offloading, supporting each other, going strong into collision, and Jamie Ellis passes the ball. I think they've been very good on this right edge. Leroy Cudjoe, look at him. Look at the composure that he has. Was that ball, and does it come forward off Jamie Ellis into Kyle Wood's hand? You can see they get through. They're pulling out the defenders. What's your thoughts here, Stuart?
Well, I think it hits his left arm, doesn't it, Jamie Ellis, and goes on to Kyle Wood. So they've missed a knock-on on that one. It's not a forward pass because he hits his body, but it just hits him there and goes forward.
So when things are going for you, they're going for you.
Well, that's the second one that Saints can feel hard done by about, because there was a forward pass earlier on in this half.
Sometimes in rugby league you get your chances in games. You always have penalties or mistakes and go against you, but it's how you react as well. And it's not been Saints there. Even if you take those 2 tries away, it's still 36 points to 20. Maybe it would have changed or the flow of the game, but I'm not so sure.
Be interesting to know who Leroy Cudjoe actually passed that ball to. Because if it was intended for Jamie Ellis, it wasn't a particularly great pass.
Time still, if the Giants fancied it, for them to rattle up 50 points. But I think they'll settle for this. 48-20 against one of the big guns in Super League, St Helens. And Saints again showing their vulnerability. They really do swing in terms of form. Out of the Challenge Cup with a substandard performance, then they pick things up again. Kieran Cunningham with a lot to think about after this one as the countdown comes from the Giants supporters, ready to celebrate a big win for them. They drew last year in dramatic fashion against the Catalan Dragons, but there is no doubt about this one from Paul Anderson's men. They have really gone to town against Saints with a skillful, entertaining performance, at times unpredictable. And the Giant supporters will head home well pleased with their sized performance here. 48-20. They have won this one. And all round a very satisfying day. The new boys, Sebastien Ikehihifo, making a really impressive debut. And just to cap it all, it's Huddersfield's first win of the season outside Huddersfield. They had to go all the way to Newcastle to achieve it, but they have achieved it in convincing fashion. Let's find out who has got the Man of the Match award in this one. Let's join Angela.
Freya Barnes here, handing over the award for Man of the Match to Ryan Hinchcliffe. Thank you, Freya.